the Joe Show with me, Joe. It's Window Wandering Wednesday, which means we look out some windows from around the world, some gorgeous windows, and I read news headlines, tell my opinion, and pretty much we just hang out on Wednesdays. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite times of the week. Let's go over to windowswap.com or open up a window somewhere in the world. What do we got here? First window is South Philly, USA, probably in Philadelphia. It seems like it's kind of a greenhouse. Like we've got a lot of plants around, nice wooden chairs, kind of position looking out the window or out the windows. Lots of sun. Looks comfortable. I drink some coffee there. Speaking of which, I have my coffee for today. Yep. I drink my coffee out of a straw. I use a disposable straw. This one happens to be bamboo. Fun fact about bamboo, I believe it's the fastest growing plant and it can grow up to 1 meter, I believe, in 24 hours, which is incredible. Which is also why in Vietnam they used it as a torture device where they would have bamboo under somebody. They'd have their back on the ground and bamboo growing, and the bamboo would actually grow up into them because it kind of grows with a spike. Yeah, pretty messed up, huh? Pretty messed up. But let's get to some headlines. Let's skewer these headlines with some bamboo zoling. Don't think that worked. Apple threatens to terminate Epic Games development account on August 28th. If you aren't in the know, some shit went down between Apple and Epic Games. Epic Games creates Fortnite. It's a hugely successful game. And recently, Fortnite and Epic told players that they should pay Epic directly for in-game items like V-Bucks, which you can use to buy skins and just cosmetic things for your player. And Apple doesn't like this. It's actually against the rules. You can't go around the App Store and have a customer pay you directly if they downloaded the app from the App Store on Apple. They do this because they get a 30% cut of all transactions that happen in their App Store. So they were a little bit upset at Fortnite developer Epic Games for doing this. And then Epic Games hit back, or they clapped back, as you would say, clap back, and said, no, screw you, Apple. We're filing a lawsuit because you're a monopoly and this is not okay. It's actually a duopoly because Android has 50% of the market and Apple has 50% of the market. Something like that. I think BlackBerry has like 3% of the market, but come on. Who's got a BlackBerry nowadays? So now Apple plans to terminate Epic Games access to its App Store completely and app development tools by August 28th. This includes the development tools required to create software for the Unreal Engine. Epic has filed a court order in Northern California to remove the restrictions that Apple has placed on it. The dispute started when Epic attempted to introduce a direct payment system in its Fortnite app to defy Apple's App Store rules. I don't know. I think this is great. I think Epic has the pockets deep enough to fight them legally. So I'm very curious how this is all going to play out. Epic also recently got a huge investment from Sony, from some venture capitalists in Silicon Valley, and also some Chinese companies, I believe. Maybe even ByteDance or Tencent in China. So it's an interesting battle that's happening. And we'll see who will have victory royale. Fortnite joke. Facebook begins merging Instagram and Messenger chats in new update. Facebook has begun integrating Instagram and Messenger chat systems. The Facebook Messenger logo replaces the Instagram logo in the new update. Instagram chats are much more colorful now. Users still can't message each other directly across platforms. No cross-platform play. But Facebook has been clear about its plans to unify the messaging platforms. I believe they also announced that on Oculus, you have to use your Facebook account to log in. Yeah, heads up. Facebook also includes Oculus. A lot of people forget that, but they have quite the reach between Oculus, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Giphy. They now own Giphy as well. So, I don't know, Facebook's got all sorts of fingers everywhere. I don't like it. I'm really kind of disenfranchised with Instagram. I've really stopped using it as much as I did, and I've noticed that my happiness level has increased. I would encourage everyone to get off of Facebook products. Screw Facebook. Not a fan. Let's go to swap to another window real quick. We've got Luxembourg City, Luxembourg. This is literally looking out a window for sure in someone's neighborhood. Looks like a cute little neighborhood. Got a blue building, a tan building, a beige building, I guess you would say. Some cars, garages. Seems like a calm street. Rocket Labs aims to launch private Venus mission in 2023. Rocket Lab, a California-based spaceflight company, is planning to a robotic astrobiology mission to Venus in 2023. Venus used to be a planet with oceans, lakes, and rivers. Before I continue, yes, Venus used to have oceans, lakes, and rivers because, and I keep, mentioning this recently, the sun is growing. It used to be a lot smaller when it was a newborn star, and now it continues to grow as the gas inside of it expands, and it will continue to grow over time, meaning at one point in Earth's future, it will be a charred planet, kind of like Venus is now. And so back when the sun was smaller, Venus had all these oceans, lakes, rivers. I think it'll be really interesting to see what they find on Venus for this astrobiological mission. Will they find remnants of plants, or maybe even of animals, of life? It could happen. So pretty cool. Scientists believe that there could be life in the planet's atmosphere where potentially habitable pockets of temperatures and pressures similar to Earth's surface still exist. The Venus mission will involve deploying probes. We're going to probe Venus. Into the planet's atmosphere using Rocket Lab's Photon satellite platform. When Photon becomes significantly available for customers, it will lower the cost of doing science in space. That's pretty cool. Rocket Labs, check them out. Planning a astrobiological mission to Venus to find life potentially, or signs of life, to then help us do science in space. AutoX launches its robo-taxi service in Shanghai, competing with DiDi's pilot program. Coffee. AutoX has publicly launched its self-driving taxi service in Shanghai. Robotaxi will start a fleet of 100 vehicles in the Jidang district. Customers can book rides through AutoNav or Let's Go. Let's with a Z. Let's go. Let's go. AutoX is the third company to hold a permit for driverless robotaxis in California. DiDi, China's largest ride-hailing platform, launched its own robotaxi pilot program in Shanghai at the end of June. It plans to deploy more than 1 million autonomous vehicles by 2030. So, self-driving taxis are well on their way, and it sounds like China, unsurprisingly, is leading the way as their AI program is so much more advanced than the U.S. because it's pretty much national mandate at this point. They have decided kind of authoritarianly that the whole country will move towards AI, and that's why they have all this facial recognition and all this data that they're collecting. It'll work, but at what cost is the question. Let's grab a new window here. Baltimore, USA. We've got looks like kind of an overcast day in a Baltimore house. It reminds me of my aunt and uncle's house in Wisconsin, although their house is overlooking the lake. But this one has a little water feature. You can see it over here, a little waterfall. Looks like a comfy place. I don't know. Not my style, but it looks comfy enough. A new coronavirus strain in Malaysia could be more infectious than COVID-19. D614G, a new strain of the coronavirus, is making its way across Southeast Asia. Malaysian health officials say it could be more infectious than COVID-19. Cool, guys. Cool. Wrap it up. Take it home. That's it. We're never getting rid of these masks. God. The strain has been detected in several countries across the continent, already spreading outside of their borders. Well done. Cool. There is still little information on the strain. Well, you know what? There used to be little information on COVID-19, and now there's an information overload. I hope, beyond hope, that is the false report, and that D614G is not more infectious than COVID-19. We're not ready for 14G. We're barely at 4G. We don't need 14G. Get out of here, D6 14G. No more coronaviruses. Pentagon announces task force to study UFOs. Is that a motorbike? That's a motorbike outside my window. My actual window. Pentagon announces task force to study UFOs. How awesome. Maybe they're working with space. What was it? Astro X? No, it was Rocket Lab. Maybe they're working with Rocket Lab. The Department of Defense has approved the establishment of an unidentified aerial phenomena task force to detect, analyze, and catalog UAPs that could potentially pose a threat to the U.S. national security. I hate that they've renamed and rebranded UFOs to UAPs, WAPs, or whatever however you want to call it. It's a UFO. We all know it's a UFO. We know what we're talking about. We're talking about aliens from Venus or Mars. No, probably more likely Venus. The UAP task force will work with the multiple agencies. Congress has requested information regarding unidentified aerial objects, and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence is reevaluating the proposal on how best to respond to the request. I think they should respond to the request by just releasing all the information that they have on UAPs and UFOs. Let us know what's going on out there. Have we been contacted? Have they visited us? Where are the Greys hiding? And who are the lizard people? These are all very important questions that need to be answered at the next window. Wow, this window's at Mars. Just kidding. It's Lithuania. And we have a cool little dog bouncing around in the background. What a cute guy. Nice white dog. Nice big hammock. Oh, and we get a little boy. We get a boy and a dog this time. This is our first human. Actually, that's not true. We've had people walking around in the background. It just felt weird. This one felt weird. And AMC movie theaters in the U.S. will reopen August 20th with 15-cent tickets. I don't need to read more than that headline. It says it all. AMC movie theaters are going to open up August 20th, which I believe is tomorrow, with 15 cents tickets. I would highly suggest Americans not be going to movie theaters at the moment. It's just not safe enough yet. In Germany, they're open, but I don't think anybody's really going to them still. And we use face protection, and we have the virus under control. So I would avoid going to the movie theater and just watch movies at home, but that's just me. And I love the movie theater. Dude, there's nothing better than popcorn. We've got Chernobyl fungus eats nuclear radiation via radiosynthesis. A fungus found growing near Chernobyl thrives on nuclear radiation due to radiosynthesis. It uses melanin to convert gamma radiation to chemical energy. NASA scientists grew the fungus inside the ISS and found that it was able to block some incoming radiation. Hey, that's really cool. Earth is protected by harmful radiation by its atmosphere and magnetic field. Astronauts don't have this protection and are exposed to radiation levels 20 times higher than on Earth. It may be possible to better protect astronauts and space objects with a layer of this radiation-absorbing and eating fungus. That is really cool. Fungus and mushrooms are really on the up and up nowadays. I've seen more and more stories about mushroom use and fungus for health, for making objects, for construction, for fabrication, for all sorts of stuff, and now protecting our astronauts against harmful radiation. If we would have had that, we would have never gotten a Fantastic Four, and we would have never gotten the awesomeness that is the Invisible Woman and Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze, though, right? Flame on! Ultra slow motion camera can record light bouncing off of mirrors. The Mega X camera is a single photon avalanche diode based image sensor. Man, so many words. The Mega X camera is a single photon avalanche diode based image sensor that was used to film light bouncing between mirrors. It can film at 24,000 frames per second. As reference, movies are filmed at 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second. As light isn't usually visible while in flight, the researchers had to focus on the photons from a laser pulse as they scattered off particles in the air. Machine learning algorithms were used to plot the 3D light path. The technique could be used in high-energy physics for fast image detection or in virtual or in augmented reality for accurately recreating environments. A 1-minute video that includes a clip of light bouncing between mirrors is available in the article. It's really interesting that they mentioned augmented reality and VR or just video games in general. They could apply this technology and these machine learning algorithms to how light is bouncing off of objects and off of mirrors to a gaming world to make them look more and more realistic. Because right now, one of the big things that holds games back from looking graphically amazing is really the lighting. I mean, in addition to texturing and animation, but yeah, lighting is a huge factor. So I think that's really interesting if they could apply it outside the lab to things like video games and augmented reality. Let's move on from this window because it's a loop. Tehran, Iran. Looks like a rainy, kind of semi-rainy day out in Iran. Really interesting park view right outside of a window. Very green. I like that the park bench is facing the plants, though, and not facing away from the plants. Usually when you see a park bench like that, it's facing away from the plants towards where the other humans are coming at you. But this one is like, no, you're going to look at nature. In fact, we're going to put you right in nature. The bench is pretty much in the bush right there. How romance apps or scams are thriving on dating apps during the quarantine. The pandemic is making it more normal for people to start and develop relationships online without ever meeting in person. For many people, online romance is now the only option. Stories that would have sounded strange before the pandemic, such as a person being stranded overseas and needing emergency funds, now sound more plausible. This has resulted in people falling prey to scams. As in, they will go on Tinder and somebody will say that they are stranded and need some help. They'll match with them and then get scammed. Be careful on Tinder, boys and girls. Be careful on Tinder. Researchers one step closer to bomb sniffing cyborg locusts. Locusts can smell explosives, and technology can help us direct them and receive signals from them to determine what they are smelling. Scientists at the McKelvey School of Engineering have developed a biorobotic sensing system that can be implanted into locusts to detect and discriminate between different explosive scents, returning the information within a few hundred milliseconds of exposure. The system can determine how strong the scent is, ideal for use in searching for explosives. That's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that locusts could smell very well. Usually I associate smell with like dogs, but I guess locusts have great sense, or the sense of scents, and now we're using them to detect bombs. It's pretty rad. Let's switch to a window. Oregon, USA. We got a blurry balcony over here. At least it's showing up blurry for me. I'm not sure if it is in general or if it's just my bad internet. But it's a nice looking window. I don't know. We could do better though. Let's swap to another window. Waiheke Island, New Zealand. Oh, the New Zealand accent. I love it. I would love to visit New Zealand, to go to Hobbitown. Let's get some quick stories in here while we're looking out this cool window in New Zealand. Black employees at Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan's philanthropic group say that there's a huge gap between how the organization talks about racial equality and what it really does. Is anybody surprised? I mean, so many companies talk a big game when it comes to equality, whether it's between genders or between races, and nobody ever does anything. Except Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's is on it, man. Smaller pizza chains are facing a pandemic pepperoni shortage. So, you're going to have to go with cheese pizza now. Or maybe even just get sausage. Maybe get some Beyond Meat, some Beyond sausage. You know, try that fake sausage. Facebook is merging chats. We already talked about that. Surefire sign of the times. The helicopter rental startup Blade is launching a commuter pass. Commuter pass for helicopter rental. I don't know, after what's-his-face died in a helicopter crash earlier this year with Kobe Bryant. Yeah, I'll pass on the helicopters. People in tiny town of Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania kept winning T-Mobile giveaways. And it may be because they were using blots? Blots of land. No, bots. They're using bots. Interesting. 14 elephant seals donned trackers and sensors to help scientists study current patterns in the Antarctic Ocean. Thank you, elephant seals, for your service to mankind and to science. Michigan is dedicating a 40-mile stretch of highway to studying self-driving cars. Everyone's going to start getting in the game, probably because it brings in the money. It's a hot topic. People are still studying it. There's a lot of money around it. Why not open your roads and make a little money in Michigan? Well done. The latest Instagram trend sunset travel pics are out and PowerPoint slides are in? Huh? PowerPoint slides? I live inside PowerPoint. I'm going to have to check that out. Clever hacks can make ATMs spew cash using tricks collectively known as jackpotting. Clever hackers can make ATMs spew cash is king, using tricks collectively known as jackpotting. Because it will just start spitting out cash like you hit a jackpot at the slots, huh? Interesting. I'm not going to tell you how to do it on the show, but if you want to look up jackpotting, now you know. That's one way to end a Shark Week. Over the weekend, an Australian man leapt atop a great white shark and punched it to rescue his wife. Woo! We got a badass over here, folks. Jumped on top of a great white shark, Australian man. Hey, mate, get off my wife or I'm going to have to jump in there and punch you. Mate, I'm warning you. One more, you come a little bit closer, I'm going to go jump on you, mate. Then he jumped on him. All right, you're right, cunt. I'm going to jump on you and beat you up. Pop, pop, pop. What a guy. So let's swap to another window and then end this window wandering Wednesday. I feel like it was so fast already, though. Kolkata, India. We've had this creepy dark window before. I don't like it. Manhattan, New York. Got another New York window. Typical Manhattan. Rusty bars. Some plants on the balcony. A view of other balconies. How fitting for Manhattan. I was going to bring up another story, but we got nothing here. We'll end it on Manhattan. Thanks again for joining me here on this Window Wandering Wednesday. As always, if you like my content, hit that subscribe button and mash that bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Until then, read something good. The newsletters I generally use for this are The Hustle and TLDR. As always, I wander you. See you next time.